Hey, 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 you're listening to Friday's Flavor with New York's finest business bee, Jolene D. Every Friday, we're digging deep with business owners, non for profits, and entrepreneurs alike, bringing you the hottest tips and topics on the business world. You know what they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So tune in and get ready to grow, my busy bees. Well, welcome to Friday's Flavor with your girl JoJo, and today we have two beautiful guests, Trisha and Jennifer of Integra HR. They are a newer company that just came into town as soon as the COVID did, so it's been an interesting ride for them, and we're going to hear all about what they're doing in the HR industry. Gals, thank you so much for being on. Trisha, why don't you give us a little background on yourself first, and then we'll talk to Jennifer, get a little bit of background on you as well.
Sure. Well, thank you for having us. So after many years in HR, doing the day-to-day in different industries, different levels of HR, at some point I decided I wanted to try something a little different. I actually did go into sales for a short period of time, very short. Um,
It's not all it's
not
cracked
quite
up to be, girl.
not, not quite the right fit. But hey, you got to try different things. So during that time, Jennifer and I had talked and we used to work together. And when I left, I told her if she ever went out on her own to find me, and that, I would partner with her. So here we are. We are doing consulting, which, while I was in sales, I don't regret any of it. I met phenomenal people, met a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs, CFOs, small companies that were trying to do it all. And I felt that there's a great need for them to have a resource in HR. There is a lot to know in HR. Coming from being in HR for years, it's still hard to stay on top of everything, especially in New York State. So my goal is to, exactly. So my goal is to, help smaller companies, mid-sized companies that don't have HR, but just need a resource, not go in and sit, all day. To be there, but more of like a hotline, like, hey, we need some of this going on. We need an employee handbook. We need some services. Or as things come up, like I can be their 800 hotline, kind of thing. So that's kind of what we're doing. Jennifer's going to certainly talk about other things that we've been doing, but we've been doing surveys and focus groups. But really, I want to be a resource to help other small companies and mid-sized companies be successful.
That's awesome.
And be that HR resource for them.
That is a good goal to have, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
especially nowadays.
Anything that can help anybody, I feel like you need to be at least trying. So Jennifer, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you met Trisha.
Okay, so let's see where to begin, right? After almost 30 years of experience at an executive level in a variety of different industries, my passion really is to work with clients to really think outside the box, lead through those challenges, embrace their aha moments. And when leaders hear their employees say, I love working here, and then the organization can move mountains, I'm honored to be part of today's conversation so we can talk a little bit about HR Integra. But I've been in the HR field my entire career, and I love every minute of it. How I met Trish is we used to work together in a nonprofit in the area. And when she left, she said, keep in touch, and we did. And when I decided to move away from my full-time job and start an HR consulting practice, Trish was one of the first people that I thought of. She's an amazing HR leader, and really wanted to be able to partner together to bring great HR services to the community and to all different sizes of organizations and clients. So it's very, very exciting for us. Who thought after about 6 to 9 months of being in business that we would be in the middle of a pandemic? So here we are and ready to go and support our community in whatever way we can.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and it was the timing. I feel like for a lot of people that I've spoken to recently, they were like, "I just started." Look, you guys know I just started as soon as
Right.
this was all happening, and so it's been interesting to see different people's reactions to it as well, because some people shine under pressure and other people really crumble. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, and that's not judgment on any of those people by any means. But yeah, this has been a tough time. And tell me a little bit about what makes you gals different from other firms. What makes Integra HR really stand out in the Capital Region?
Sure. I think really what makes us different, and I'll certainly let Trish chime in, we have really been working very, very hard to build a culture where our mission and our values are actually our passions. We believe in integrity, service, social responsibility, community, creative outcomes, and those are all integrated into our approach with clients. And we want to work on developing innovative solutions and really drive those organizational outcomes so that people are achieving the goals that they set out to do. We really try to meet our clients where they're at and be as flexible as we can, giving them access to high quality experts in the most cost effective option so that they can achieve those outcomes. And when I say that we live our mission and our values, we'll talk a little bit about an initiative that we have going on. But one of the things that I think really brought Trish and I together is our passion around community focus and engagement and really giving back to our community. And we've built that culture internally to allow us to be able to pursue those passions at the same time engaging with our clients.
That's awesome. Any thoughts on that, Tricia?
Yeah, just one of the things to add. I mean, one of the things I think is great about us is, well, we're still small. There's only the two of us, so we have a lot of flexibility in what we can offer. As Jennifer meant, cost effective, is huge, especially nowadays. A lot of people got hit hard with the pandemic. But one of the things is, we had a client, or actually a potential client, reach out and go, "I didn't see a certain thing on your services page, but can you help us?" And we talked and we're like, "Yes, we can." So, just because we're small, we are very flexible. And I think a lot of companies may not approach a larger company that has a lot of things that are set. Here's what you need. Here's
Cookie
like
cutter.
exactly, a cookie cutter system, process, even forms. I mean, there's forms that everybody, they're universal. They're never going to change. But we have a lot more flexibility to actually come in, learn about your company, work with you, and customize things to what you want. I recently spoke to a client who didn't want formal performance reviews. He doesn't want to sit down once a year and go through that dreaded, like, "Oh, let me check the boxes." So we actually talked. I found out more of what he was looking for, and we created more of an approach that he actually likes, that fits his company. So rather than saying, "Here, this is what you should use," we learned what he needed, and we were able to meet his needs, and still get what he has to get done.
I like that, and I'll tell you why. Because I hate cookie cutter anything.
Yeah.
I'm not just putting it out there. I'm not a cookie cutter individual. If you've watched the show more than once, you know that is true. And it's one of those things where when you're offering a customizable service to people, I find that so much more valuable than your out of the box store kind of look. I think that there should be customizable service across the board. In most industries, there's got to be one or two people who are doing it, the right way. And that's to do it just small. It should be small, and it should be like, we specialize in this, and we can help you in all of these different areas. And we can collaborate and talk about what you need as an individual, because we keep it that way. We keep it small. We keep it, between the owner and a few other individuals, and we're willing to be flexible.
Exactly.
The willingness to be flexible that's a big deal. And you did open just 6 to 9 months ago, and now this whole huge thing happens where it's like an elephant's foot stomping your dreams. And what do you do? Like, how are things going?
They're going, pretty well. I mean, we're reaching out to people, we're offering value where we can, we're connecting with people like yourself and others, and just trying to, get ourselves out there so people know who we are.
Yeah.
We've helped a few people along the way that are probably, really wondering how they're going to, pay their staff or pay their bills. And, we've offered some assistance here and there. But yeah, nobody put pandemic in their marketing plans. So
If they
it's been,
did, I want to talk to their people. Like, who told
it's
you?
been, yeah, it's been interesting, but I think we're all in this together, and I think we're all gonna, find ways to support one another and,
Yeah.
get through this.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Hashtag we're all in this together.
Exactly.
And so, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about what you can offer businesses now and in the future.
Sure. So as Trish mentioned, we have been doing some consultation as well as a lot of networking and connecting people with the right resources. I think people right now have been so overwhelmed by the day-to-day of what's happening out there, trying to keep up, and sometimes they just don't know where to go and where to look. So what we can offer right now is if it's something that we can't do for you, we will connect you with the right resources. We will get you connected to people that can assist through that process or walk you through. And if we can offer some free consultation services, we will do that as well. And we have been doing that for the last couple of months. I was just working with a client the other night, and she said, I don't know what's going to happen with my business. And, send me a bill. And I said, whoa, you're not sending you a bill. Okay, let's just talk it through. And we'll talk after this is all over. And maybe there'll be other ways for us to partner in the future together. But I don't want you to worry about that. Let's just talk about what you need right now and get you through this time. Going forward, what we are really trying to do is get on some webinars, start talking about the planning, start talking about how to build on what your future holds. We're working right now on some reopening plans and partnering together with some organizations on how can we reopen. So how do we get that safety plan in place? How do we keep in compliance so that we can open our doors and hopefully get this business community back up and running and people back to work as best as we can, right? Given what we know or we don't know, because it changes minute to minute. So
yeah, I can't begin to understand the phases, openings. I mean, every time they send something out about it and who's opening and who can't open, and it's like reading the bottom of a cereal box. I'm seeing the words, I can spell it out, not registering. Don't know what that is. And don't speak that language.
And then it changes in an hour. So what's the point?
So I'm so glad that there's experts like Tricia and Jennifer out there who know what they're reading, because I don't.
We're trying just like the best of us. We're all trying.
Oh man. And I understand that you both and Integra are very community focused. Very community focused. I've seen a lot of the stuff that you've done. I've shared the crap out of it. I'm
Yes,
big into
thank you.
networking, and I love to share when I see people doing good stuff out there. And so why don't you tell me a little bit more about that? Whoever wants to chime in.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
all right. So about a month or so ago, Trish and I were talking, and Trish and I spent a portion of our time working in human services and mental health in our careers, working side by side amongst some amazing people, mission-driven individuals that support our most vulnerable populations. And one of the things that we were seeing is not a lot of shout outs for these heroes that are doing this work every day. And Trish and I put our heads together. I said, what do you think? Like, what can we do? And so we decided to reach out to the Rensselaer Chamber. At the same time, we were getting contacted by Capital Region Cares, Sharon Phillips and Anne-Marie Lizzie about joining their efforts about being community focused and helping our community to heal. And we started reaching out to some of the human service agencies that we either work with or have worked with in the past to see what their needs were. And so we put together actually a program called Give Back and Impact. It's a campaign with a variety of different events to be able to get some much needed supplies into these agencies, as well as some recognition for their essential frontline workers. and giving them some gift certificates or gift cards because some of them have tested positive and some of them are trying to keep their vulnerable populations safe and not testing positive. And they need every kind of supply to, just like the hospitals do, right? They need PPE and they need cleaning supplies. And so it's been kind of a whirlwind of a 4 to 6 week time frame. But it was always our dream to have this pay it forward and this give back because it's one of our values and we live it every day. And instead of focusing in on all the negative things that are happening, we wanted to make a positive impact, and we're keeping it going. So there'll be more events. We've been doing some lunches. We've been doing some breakfast. We're making the deliveries from the donation drive-through that event that happened last week. So it's pretty exciting times, and it's much needed. And we're going to keep it going until we can get this community healed.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of your guys' pictures of the food being collected, and I think that's really great that you're doing something, because a lot of organizations are willing to say that they're concerned about the population. It's a whole other thing to actually do something though, folks.
Yeah.
All right, in case you didn't know, these were made for doing. It's true. You know what I mean? It's just, if you have capable hands,
Yeah.
you should be doing something. You should be helping your community. You should be talking back, especially if you're a business owner. If you're a business owner, I can understand we're all hurting right now, but I mean, what better way to network and meet other people in the community and talk about the good stuff that you guys are capable of doing than giving back when you're down. Even when you're down, you're like, I'm still worried about what happens here. I still want this community to be around whether I am or not. And that says something about the type of business person that you are. And so I think that that's beautiful that you gals are involved in all of that. And I understand you're part of an exciting initiative. Is Impact that initiative, or is there something else that? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the fund and how people can give back?
Sure. So I can talk a little bit. So the initiative is our Give Back and Impact, and plus Capital Region Cares. So those are the two initiatives. So yes, if you aren't able to come out to our donation drive or participate that way, we do have a fund at Capcom. It's an account, and people can go there and drop off deposits. Jennifer might have to help me out here. I think they just have to put impact in the memo and go there and tell them that it is for the Give Back and Impact Fund, and they can put it in there. And then we're using those funds to buy gift cards, for the front line that are working with vulnerable populations. And let me tell you, when you're barely making minimum wage, a $10 gift card to Stewart's to put gas in your car is huge. People might think, I don't have a lot to donate. Doesn't take a lot. It really does not take a lot to donate, and every little bit helps. And we're going to use, all of it to try to give back as much as we can.
That's awesome. And I mean, it couldn't get much easier than going through the drive-through at Capcom and just saying, hey, I'd like to put $10 into the Impact Fund here on the 518. Then you're immediately giving to somebody who really needs it here. And not just, food. There's a lot of organizations doing food, but you're talking about other necessities. Like, I need to get to a job interview. $10 in my car is going to get me to my job interview. Things like that people don't necessarily think about when it comes to crises like this occurring. Food is absolutely needed. There is no knocking what that can do for people. But there's
so many more people that need it. I mean, how many people have lost their jobs and paying their bills? So food pantries that already fed, I don't know how many hundreds of people, are now feeding thousands.
Yeah.
And something that I learned not too long ago was, if you're getting food stamps, you cannot buy hygiene products with those food stamps. So I can't imagine. I am very blessed, and I can't imagine having to try to worry about where to go and buy hygiene products.
Yeah.
or
Wow.
baby wipes or diapers. So those types of things are definitely in need.
Or to
You know,
even ask for those things, to even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel, can you imagine having to even ask, like, hey, I don't just need food. I need
Deodorant.
I need
Yeah.
something like maxi pads. Who's gonna
Well,
go and
exactly.
ask for something like that?
They're not.
Yeah, but it's a necessity.
Yes.
That you wouldn't even think about, really. I hadn't even really thought about it until just
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
that's very beautiful to hear that, there's an HR company locally who cares this much, not just about, their own business, but about the whole capital region, about everybody here. And I think that's worth talking about, folks.
Yes.
And if
Thank you for talking.
no, yeah. Can't shut me up is the problem, Ask my husband about that. Don't.
Oh.
So it's really great to have you ladies on. I'm really excited to talk to everybody about what you're doing. And if you're a business owner out there who's looking to hire, looking to find new employees, looking to get a new HR system in place, especially if you're a small to mid-sized company, I really hope that you'll reach out to Integra HR. Their information is going to be right there this whole time. You saw it. And so I'm really glad to have had you, Trisha and Jennifer. I hope that you have an amazing week, and thanks for being on.
Thank you so much, Jolene.
Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for listening to Friday's Flavor with your girl, JoJo. Please subscribe to help support local New York business owners. And I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to be featured on Friday's Flavor, please email me at fridaysflavor@gmail.com.